Hello, welcome to Topper Machine. I'm Josh Topper. So this is a fun one today. This will be Tuesday content. Those of you who subscribe have seen some pretty neat stuff on Tuesdays and the good machine shop content on Fridays. And as I'm getting more into this channel and doing things, we'll get things organized and working better. But stick with us, see what's next. This is a buzz saw that I picked up recently, and I bought it for cutting the slab wood, for cutting firewood, whatever. So this thing has sat for quite a few years, hasn't run, it's been covered. I bought it over by Minocqua, Wisconsin, so like 3.5, 4 hours from home. And we trailered it because I wasn't going to trust this trailer on the road, but this is a is this a TDH or THD Wisconsin, 2-cylinder Wisconsin. And these are pretty good motors. I've got a few Wisconsins here. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this thing started. We'll see if it'll start, and then we'll put it to work. So the very first thing we do, and I do when I get an older Wisconsin like this, very first thing, pull the spark plugs. Take a peek, see what you got, because the way this exhaust is, see how it's vertical, water could funnel down in there. And they're coming out nice. Very nice. And the plugs look really good. And it looks really good down there in the cylinder. It looks dry, no rust. Everything looks good. So the next thing I do is I'll take an oil can and I'll squirt a bunch of oil in the cylinders and then crank the engine over. This motor is a distributor type instead of a magneto type, which I'm used to. So let's take the distributor cap off and take a peek in there and just see what it looks like, see if it's crusty. And there's some nasty mud hornet nest in there. We'll have to clean that up good. And we'll spin it over again just to see if the points are doing anything. Okay, so I got the points cleaned up, the cap, the rotor, everything's cleaned up. We got oil in the cylinders, and what that also does, that gives it a little lubrication, but it also helps to build the compression after an engine's sat for a long time. That's something I do with locomotives after they've sat for a year or so, is I'll shoot oil down the cylinder cocks just to give them a little extra compression for starting, and it always helps. Now, the previous owner had the fuel tank set up as the axle, and not knowing the condition of that, we're going to eliminate that. We're going to put hook up one of my boat tanks that I have set up for my portable well. Hook that up to it with a primer bulb to the carburetor, and I've already taken out the carburetor drain plug right here. Here's the fuel pump, and that does work. I tested it. I could hear it pumping. So what we'll do is we'll hook the hose onto that copper pipe, and then we'll prime it up, get fuel up here, and then I'll pump it in with the pump, and we'll let it run out for a bit just to make sure it's clean. So we got fuel coming up. Flushed out the carburetor. The pump does pump a little, which is what we want, but I got a primer bulb on there, so it won't be a problem. But I checked this earlier and I forgot to bring it up, but check the oil. And that's down here, the fill and the dipstick are right there. And the oil looks good enough to run it for now. And this is an oil bath air filter. Or at least it should be. All of them that I've worked on that this has this style, they sure have been. So what you do is you open this up and you just make sure that the oil in there is clean and up to the proper mark. We could change that, but again, we're just getting this started to see what happens. So let's we'll not worry about that. It's got plenty of oil. Screw that back on. And the next thing we're going to do, we'll put the spark plugs in the wires. We'll hook the battery up to it. I'll crank it over by hand, because this is electric coil, and we'll see if we have spark. Okay, so I'm not seeing any sparks, so I'm going to go back into the distributor here and just check to see if we have spark at the points. And I've got good spark there at the points, so we should be good. We should have spark at the plugs. So maybe I'm not getting a good ground on my plugs. That's okay. We can. The wires are good. Everything looks good. There it is. I just didn't have a good ground. Okay, we got good spark. All right, let's see what happens. Well, she blew out a bunch of rust. She's a little dirty inside from sitting. I see some mouse nest here. But I think it'll run. We'll just have to fire it up and run it for a while. So next thing we'll do is I'll get the grease gun and grease up everything that can be greased, and we'll just get it running and see what happens. Well, that's not good. That's the source of our problem. So I'm going to go grab some rubber gloves and start cleaning this out. Oh, that's packed in there good. I really hate mice. They destroyed a boat motor on us. So I'm going to go grab some gloves and get this cleaned up. Let's try it again and see if it blows cool air now. Much better airflow across the cylinders. So let's take it out and give her a test run. All right, well, let's start this thing up and see if it'll cut. That'll be the fun part. We got all this slab wood off the sawmill, so let's get going. I'd say that was a successful test run, and of the THD Wisconsin. Wisconsins are great little motors, very uneconomical. They burn a lot of fuel, but they're a great motor. Run forever if you take care of them. That mouse nest was a little bit of a pain, but it didn't look that bad at first. But when I started it again, put my hand there, you could feel there wasn't any airflow coming out. So knew there was a problem in there. So with that, we'll end here. Please check out my website, www.toppermachine.com. And please like, subscribe, and share. Stay with us, see what's next. Be lots of cool stuff like this. Work on little projects like this here and there. So all kinds of fun stuff and cool machining stuff. So with that, I'm going to get back to work. But you should get out in your shop and get it done right the first time.